Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Preimesberger, editor of eWEEK. Thank you very much for joining us today for this latest segment of eWEEK eSpeaks. It's a series of conversation with IT thought leaders from different parts of the IT world. Our special guest today is Jon Aniano. He's Senior Vice President of Product at Zendesk, and he's based here in the Bay Area. Jon, welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, and thanks everyone for listening.
Yeah. Jon, give us a little bit of your background. I know you were at Salesforce for a long time, and then a little bit high level about what Zendesk does. So in case people haven't heard of it before.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Chris. So as Chris said, Jon Aniano, and I run a bit of product management here at Zendesk. I have been in the CRM space for as long as I can remember. I tell people my entire adult life. A lot of that time I spent at Salesforce inside of Service Cloud. So I've been a customer service nerd for a very, very long time. And I joined Zendesk about 18 months ago because I'm super passionate about what Zendesk stands for, which is allowing companies to deliver the best customer service experiences, but to do that quickly and easily, to get up and running in a few minutes, and then have just a massive amount of power behind the scenes to help them grow and scale customer service operations. And that's something I haven't seen done in the software space before, and Zendesk is sort of leading the way there. So for people who don't know what Zendesk is customer service SaaS application, and 13 years ago, Zendesk launched with the idea of allowing companies to get up and running with the best customer service easily. And so 13 years ago, getting the best customer service system up and running easily was email and sort of a knowledge base on the web. And since then, lots of things have changed. Social customer service entered the scene. There's been an explosion of channels. You need to be able to switch between email and voice and chat. And now we have just some amazing things going on in the world of messaging, which is what maybe we'll be able to have a chance to talk about today, Chris.
Yeah, definitely. That's our topic number one. But before that, I wanted to congratulate you and Zendesk in general for reaching the $1 billion in revenue mark. That is something that is awesome, and doesn't happen to everybody. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we feel honored and privileged to hit that milestone. Not many companies are able to make it that far, and so we are really excited. I have to attribute that. Obviously Zendesk has been helping customers deliver great customer service experiences for, like I said, over 13 years. We're over 4,000 employees today. We have over 100,000 customers, and it's really the customers that have brought us that success. And I think our intense focus on making sure our customers are successful has led to what I think is a great brand in the industry, and our customers telling each other and telling their friends to use Zendesk. So I want to put all the thanks for that on our customers, and I hope we can continue to make them successful for another 13 years.
Yeah, I would hope so. And so let's talk about CX and UX. Okay, customer experience, user experience, it's all the same thing. When you get on your phone or your tablet or your laptop or whatever it is, and you want to get something done, you want to buy something, you want to get a service, you want that to happen and happen now. That's why you're there. And we have been, I think, frankly, spoiled over the years by the great customer service that's now happening that wasn't there not too many years ago. And Zendesk is one of those leaders in this customer experience thing. It's become a huge, huge business all on its own. Tell me why you think messaging is so important now. I think I have an idea, but why don't you tell us the value of instant messaging and social networks and all that, real-time communication on these networks? What's so important?
Yeah, absolutely, Chris. I think there are a lot of things that have changed over the past couple of decades, and I think one of the things that has changed is consumers have gone from purchasing products in a single sort of transaction to purchasing services or choosing vendors to have a long-term relationship with. The subscriptionification of businesses it's not a fad. It's how consumers sort of prefer to interact with brands and to be consumers in the new world. And I think that's one trend that has made it super important for companies to be able to deliver experiences that their customers are happy with, and that their customers continue to interact with, and that their customers continue to get value from. Another trend that has happened is consumer behavior has, I don't even want to say consumer behavior, human behavior has changed significantly in the last decade as people have moved to communicate with their friends and their families and acquaintances and various other people over messaging channels. There is no denying the shift from, traditional voice communication to email communication, now moving swiftly to messaging. And there's no better example of that than, I interact with my grandmother on Facebook Messenger, right? So when this sort of shift has permeated all aspects of culture, all demographics of people, all regions, you sort of know that this has become a human change. The move to messaging is a human change. And so what now is happening is that the consumers, the customers of our customers are expecting to have the same types of interactions that they have with friends and family with businesses. So it's not just deliver me a great experience, deliver a long-term relationship. It's meet me on the channels that I'm familiar with, and whether that's Facebook Messenger here in the US or whether that's WhatsApp. We've at Zendesk we've seen this year alone 110% increase in WhatsApp usage in our customer base, and so companies are now making the shift to messaging channels. And messaging isn't just one channel. Companies often need to have sort of native messaging on their website or in their mobile app to allow consumers to communicate with them. I just had an interaction with my insurance company where the whole thing was done over messaging inside of the insurance mobile app. The first part was automated. The second part was with humans. And so these types of interactions are just becoming super natural to us as consumers. And so, the move to messaging is a big shift for companies, and they need help doing this. And Zendesk we have shifted the way we deliver product. We are launching something called Zendesk Messaging to help deliver the same ease of use of the messaging channel as Zendesk has done over the years for email, voice, and chat, and other channels for customer service.
Okay. Yeah, you touched on something I wanted to talk about too briefly. It was that I always thought maybe that messaging and the real-time communication was more of a generational thing with younger people using phones and getting used to that. Then you mentioned that you communicate with your grandmother on instant messaging. I think that's fabulous, and I think that's probably coming a lot more common. And the thing is too, you want to check in with people. You don't want to have to wait for them to return the message, even though we were used to that with email. Yeah, so building a business based on this immediate interaction is what everybody wants now, and what everybody is using. And that's what you guys are bringing. Now, tell me a little bit more about Zendesk. Is Zendesk a platform for lots of different kinds of apps that can be brought into it? Now, you said you're launching your own messaging brand within this, but is that going to compete with Facebook Messenger or your typical messaging app on your phone, or what?
Oh, certainly, Zendesk does not expect to compete with the messaging platforms out there. In fact, for the past couple of years, we've made major investments to bring in messages from every major messaging network that you can imagine, whether that's Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, Apple Business Chat, all
AOL.
You know what? I think AOL's on the backlog, Chris. We'll have to. We've got a question about their APIs.
Yeah, I heard.
They sent us a few CDs though. But yeah. So no, this is Zendesk messaging is about communicating with your customer in the channels that are important to your particular customer base. So we have companies doing all of their messaging over WhatsApp. We have some companies doing all of their messaging over Facebook Messenger. And we've had our own native messaging capabilities in beta for a few months now. And we have some companies doing all of their messaging over a native messaging channel, and that there could be a few reasons for that. One, you may want to make sure that you have an authenticated customer in your mobile app or an authenticated customer on your web experience. You may be trying to build a rich interaction with your customer that isn't technically possible over those messaging channels. There's lots of reasons to do native messaging, but what we find most customers are doing is they're doing a combination of allowing customers to reach out to them over any messaging channel of choice or a few distinct messaging channels, and then also allowing them to switch to native messaging or even initiate on native messaging when it makes sense to them. And I think that the move to messaging isn't just about the channel, it's also about the type of experience. So for instance, what our customers are doing a lot with messaging is they're putting an automated experience up front. So, when I reach out to a company over a native messaging channel, for instance, I might be presented with something that says, "Hey, are you calling about your most recent order? Are you messaging with us about your most recent order? If so, click here and we'll get you to the right person quickly." And so these types of sort of rich automated experiences are a lot more pleasant over messaging and are preferred by consumers than maybe the IVR experiences of the past. So messaging is a big shift, not only in channel, but also in the types of interactions you have with your customers.
Yeah. So, okay, John, we got about a minute left. So, what can you tell me about, I'll put you on the spot here. What can you tell me about Zendesk that maybe I don't already know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think, for me, the thing that keeps surprising me, even though I've been at Zendesk now for 18 months, is sort of how diverse and just wonderful our customer base is. We are a global company, so we have offices all across the world. Now, maybe we're not, all in our offices. I'm in my guest room in San Mateo, California, but we operate globally. We have, engineering staff. It would take more than a minute to name all of the places where we have employees and engineering staff, and we have customers diversified all over the globe. And so we are, I think why that's important, and what a lot of people don't know about Zendesk is we are helping customers in all different regions with all different types of consumer behaviors, with all different types of channel preferences, deliver great customer service. So I'm as part of Zendesk, I'm learning every day what the different types of sort of consumer preferences and consumer behavior are, what a good customer experience means in Australia versus Singapore versus Montreal versus United States and Latin America. And so it's just been wonderful seeing the wealth of talent and experience at Zendesk and seeing this just embarrassment of riches we have in the customer base and the global customer base of Zendesk. So it's a really exciting time to be at Zendesk.
Great. Yeah, you're a good sport for answering that. Appreciate it. Thanks, John. And
Yeah.
good to meet you in virtuality. And we'll be following you as time goes on. The company is very successful, and I think you guys are really a leader in this whole area. So congratulations.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chris. Thanks for the time, and thanks everyone for listening.
Sure. Jon Aniano, who's Senior Vice President of Product at Zendesk. Thanks again. And for everybody following along to the bitter end here, thank you very much and have a great rest of your eWeek. Thanks for joining us on eWeek eSpeaks. Go to eWEEK.com to hear more conversations with IT thought leaders.